So the next person signed up is actually with the Trash Hauling Association, so I'm going to wait till after 9, wherever Mr. Carnival is. Mark Stoltzman, one of our friends from the lobby. Okay, all right. Jim Ibertson.
My name's Jim Ibertson. I'm against organized trash collection. I look at it as the government taking one of my liberties, one of my choices away from me. I think we have a problem that the government is eroding our personal liberties and freedoms away from us. The other problem I have is I don't believe a lot of the stuff that is written about the roads being damaged by 8 trucks once a week driving down the roads. I don't think that substantially disturbs the roads. I think the competition is a good thing. I think that once we put all the trash haulers out of business, that there really is not a competition base there. I think there's some huge opportunities for localized recycling of brush, a common collection agents area. The city of Maplewood used to have a recycling center right here. It got used heavily. I'm sure it cost us some money, but there was an easy, convenient way for people to clean up their yards. Thank you.
Thank you. It looks like it's Rod Johnson.
It's Rod Johnson, 1935 East Larpenteur Avenue. I lived in Maplewood 34 years. I've had 3 different trash haulers, and I just wanted to express my concern if you do decide to go forward with this, that you find a way that the smaller local family-owned kinds of haulers are allowed to be competitive in whatever kind of a system you come up with, because they have certainly, to me, I started out with a small family-owned private hauler who was bought out by a multinational company. My service went down and my rates went up and up and up until 2 years ago I was able to find a smaller outfit that reduced my rate by less than a third of what I was paying with the multinational, and it does a much better job. So I'm just concerned that in big bidding processes like this that cities and government does, that the big companies have an advantage and can lowball a price to get in and then get entangled in the operations and end up raising prices over time. And I think it's could be difficult to control politically. So I'm just concerned about the design, and if you go forward, that smaller companies have a chance to do this. I currently have tennis, and I was happy to hear that they may have the recycling now too. They do an excellent job for me, and at a competitive cost. Thank you.
Thank you. Diana Longry.
Thank you. Good evening. Diana Longry, 1771 Burr Street. I also have a business in Maplewood at 1321 Frost. I would like to say that after the meeting, I would like a copy of that study from 2009, if I could.
It's online.
Pardon me?
It's online.
Okay, thank you very much. It's online. One is I'd like to mention that I think one of the things that needs to be looked at and discussed is the issue of axle weight. In all the discussions that I heard in listening to the Environmental Natural Resources Commission, I think that there wasn't really a lot of discussion talking about axle weight. Many of the people that I've talked to says that axle weight is actually one of the biggest determinations of really the kinds of stress that are on your road, We already know how our roads are constructed as to what weights they will hold, and therefore we do have the authority as a municipality to be able to have control over the axle weight that goes over our secondary streets. Also, many seniors cannot generate enough trash to be able to perhaps fit within some specific program that the city sets up. And so if you're going to go towards this avenue, I think you need to look at ways that seniors can consolidate their trash so that that way they don't have another increased bill that is much larger than maybe what they need or want or can afford. Two, I know that at the workshop that the retreat that the council had, that of course at least two of the council members at that retreat said that this was indeed one of their primary objectives, to have organized collection. In looking at customer service, I think it's important to have competition with regard to customer service for the consumer for this reason, is that the trash hauler who serves that customer wants to maintain their business. They want to keep them happy. If indeed the person or the entity they're contracting with is indeed the local government, they only need to keep 5 people happy, not all the customers that are their customer base. And I think it's much easier for citizens to be able to talk directly to their trash hauler to correct things if they have a problem. The issue about opt-out options and the snowbird option, that if snowbirds are going to be gone for a certain number of months during the year, that they can opt out. I would think that you would also extend that to anybody else in the city so that people are not treated disproportionately. Because if one person can opt out for 4 months, other people in the community should be able to opt out for 4 months as well, even if they stay at home. Also, the issue of responsible financial responsibility. A financial responsibility the city should have implemented back in 2004 was to reinstitute having seal coating of their streets. Because one of the main issues of what causes road damage is indeed the water and the freeze and thaw cycle. And if you have seal coating of your streets, you're less likely to have those impacts. And also with regard to the administrative fee, one last thing is that the administrative fee so easily every year can be ratcheted up to help pay for one more thing. Just like the environmental utility tax, which we were told was going to stay stable at a very low incremental rates year by year, if you look at that and compare it to what it is today, it is off the charts. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Let's see. Looks like Teresa Mansella. Oh, it's Teresa.
Yes. My name is Teresa Manzella. I live at 1741 Atlantic Street in Maplewood. And I'm actually not all that attached to my garbage and who hauls it. And what I am looking for is savings in cost. And I am actually in favor of going with organized contracted hauling. Having a background, and I will confess, in state purchasing, I'm quite familiar with the advantages that can come from the competitive bid pricing or process in pricing, and also in stabilizing things like the fees. One of the problems that I've seen with the garbage bills over the last few years, and what has prompted me to switch haulers every time my contract is up, pretty much, is that they start tacking on the fuel service surcharges. And there's nothing controlling them right now as to how much they can tack on to my bill. So that is something that I would like to see specified if you do choose to go forward with this intent, that the fuel surcharges in particular would be addressed in that, and that any other miscellaneous fees that were not statutorily dictated as far as taxes and for recycling and environmental fees and so forth. Also, one of the things that I found, and I recently switched to Tennis, is that they give a discount on dumpster fees to people who have contracts with them. So that might be something for the wish list, that if citizens wanted to, you know, if they're doing a big project and they want to get a dumpster, that then they could get a discount through whoever the hauler happens to be. I also would like to see small bins. We have a family of 4. We don't even fill a 30-gallon because we do so much recycling that we just generate very little trash. And I think that we should really be putting an emphasis on going to more recycling and less generation of landfill. So there needs to be, if you move forward with this, and it is not a foregone conclusion, I understand that, if you move forward with this, an option for smaller bins. And I would argue that the customer base remains a determining factor in the level of service that's provided, because if there is a municipally directed, awarded bid for this service, if City Hall hears from enough people that they're not happy with the service that they're getting, then they can choose, or they can build customer satisfaction ratings into the bid specifications, perhaps have it more of a request for proposal than a request for bid, and measure those things. And if the company does not live up to the customer service specifications, then they lose the contract. And it's not really that difficult to do. Those things can be measured, and people should go to the hauler first, but if they don't get satisfaction, then they have a contact whoever is the contract administrator at the city to handle their complaints. It is always in the best interests of any business that wants to maintain its level of customer base to provide good service, and having a contract through the city does not obviate their motivation to do so. Thank you.
Thank you. So the next 2 people listed are both listed as haulers, so I'll skip over them and go to Jackie Hendrickson.
Jackie Henderson, 2109B. I'll be real quick. I want a choice. I want to be able to fire my trash hauler if he isn't doing a good job. I have the second one now. I like the first one all right, but I like the second one much better. I don't want to be told to go to the dollar store because it's cheaper. I want to be able to go to Target. And so my big thing is choice. We said the Pledge of Allegiance. This is supposed to be a country of choice. But thanks for listening to us.
Thank you. Okay, then we move on to, and let's see, it looks like it could be Jennifer. You're on, oh. I'm a hauler. Okay, you're a hauler, okay. Oh yes, Blaine it says. All right. Ralph Sletton. Ralph, are you here? He's coming. Okay.
Ralph Sletton, 2747 North Clarence Street. I'm opposed to the single trash hauler. My trash hauler is Tennis, been with us for a long time. I'm able to get bids from him or any of the rest of them. He was the least expensive. And some of the others have dumped trash all over the streets, and my driver will stop and pick up the whole block. And I thought that was really something from a hauler that didn't even service those people. The other thing is, anytime the city gets their fingers involved in anything, the prices go up, because they start with all their service fees, and then they add all their environmental issues that they come up with, and there's no end to it. Then it would also be more people to do the job. Let's see. Oh, to get up the issue of the streets. I think our engineering department are the ones that are responsible for that when they engineer the streets for the impacts that are supposed to be able to carry on those streets. And if they do have those figures in place, the load limit sign should be put on the streets that are used. And the other thing is the maintenance of our streets.